Imagine a world so advanced, so wicked, that God himself decided to delete it forever. Now, most people think the story of Noah's flood is just some cute Sunday school fable with cartoon animals on a wooden boat. It's not. What if I told you that the pre-flood civilization wasn't just a group of primitive people, but a society so technologically and genetically corrupt that it forced the hand of the Creator? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 7 terrifying secrets the world before the flood left behind. And I promise you, once you see them, you can never unsee them. Let's dive right into secret number 1. The Nephilim. They weren't just giants like you see in fairy tales. They were genetic abominations. The Bible mentions them in Genesis 6, but other ancient texts, like the Book of Enoch, which, by the way, is quoted in the New Testament Book of Jude, give us far more chilling details. The book says 200 fallen angels, a group called the Watchers, descended on Mount Hermon. They broke their primary directive, took human wives, and the result was a hybrid offspring known as the Nephilim. Some of these ancient texts claim these beings grew to an insane height, maybe even up to 450 feet tall. Now you might think that's just mythology, right? But what about the countless reports from archaeologists over the last century who keep finding massive skeletons? We're talking about human-like remains with 6 fingers, 6 toes, and even double rows of teeth. These discoveries make headlines for a day, and then, mysteriously, they just disappear. The evidence is suppressed, the reports are scrubbed, and the conversation is shut down. Is that just a coincidence? Or is someone actively trying to hide the proof of this genetic tampering from our ancient past? It makes you wonder what else is buried, both literally and figuratively. Now for secret number 2. The people before the flood possessed technology we still can't fully replicate or even understand. Think about this. Archaeologists in Iraq found what's now called the Baghdad Battery. It's a simple clay pot with a copper cylinder and an iron rod, and it's over 2,000 years old. When you fill it with a simple acidic liquid like lemon juice or vinegar, it generates a steady electric current. We thought we invented batteries in the 1800s, but here's evidence of ancient electrical knowledge. Then there's the Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece. It's an incredibly complex system of bronze gears, often called the world's first analog computer, used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses. But here's the catch. Many engineers who've studied it say its complexity is so out of place for its time that it feels more like a downgraded leftover piece of a much more advanced technology that was lost. It's like finding a smartphone in a medieval castle. Let's not forget Plato's account of Atlantis. He described a civilization with flying machines, advanced energy sources, and technology that would rival or even surpass our own, right before it was swallowed by the sea in a single day and night. What if Atlantis wasn't just a myth? What if it was the last major city, the capital of this highly advanced, pre-flood world? This brings us to secret number 3, and it's a big one. The real reason God regretted creating humanity. Genesis 6:11 says, "The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence." We usually focus on the violence part. But the original Hebrew word used for corrupt is ****. This word doesn't just mean morally corrupt. Its primary meaning is to be ruined, spoiled, or genetically corrupted. It was a biological crisis. The Book of Jasher, another ancient Hebrew text, elaborates on this. It says they were tampering with the very fabric of life. They were mixing the DNA of animals, creating chimeras, monsters that shouldn't exist. Think about the mythical creatures we see in legends all over the world. Griffins, centaurs, and yes, even dragons. What if these weren't just products of imagination? What if they were fragmented memories of real, genetically engineered creatures from the pre-flood world? God looked down at his perfect creation, at the animals and people he had made, and saw that it was no longer what he had intended. It was a contaminated, corrupted version. The flood wasn't just a punishment for bad behavior. It was a desperate, necessary measure. It was a complete and total hard reset to cleanse the planet's gene pool before it was irreversibly damaged. Now, hold on tight for secret number 4, because this one genuinely keeps me up at night. The existence of massive megalithic ruins completely submerged under our oceans. Off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan, there's a huge underwater structure. It's got perfectly carved 90-degree angles, massive staircases, and what look like roads and plazas. Geologists have dated it to be at least 12,000 years old, placing it firmly in the pre-flood era. Mainstream science tries to dismiss it as a natural rock formation. But how does nature create perfect right angles and symmetrical steps on that scale? And it's not an isolated case. We see the exact same kind of thing with the Bimini Road in the Bahamas, which looks like a giant, ancient stone pavement under the water. Then there are the incredible underwater pyramid complexes discovered off the western coast of Cuba and the submerged city found in the Gulf of Cambay in India, both also dated to a time before the last major sea level rise. It's like a pattern. It seems like these advanced civilizations knew a global flood was coming. They knew the water levels were going to rise catastrophically, and maybe, just maybe, they tried to build their cities to survive underwater. But here's the truly terrifying part. Some modern divers and researchers who have explored these sites report very strange phenomena. They talk about equipment malfunctioning, strange lights emanating from the structures, and powerful electromagnetic anomalies that have no logical explanation. It's as if something down there is still active. Some power source is still running. Secret number 5 completely changes how we view the ancient world and ourselves. The pre-flood atmosphere was entirely different from what we have today. How do we know? Fossil evidence. We found fossilized dragonflies with 3-foot wingspans. For an insect that size to fly, the atmospheric pressure and oxygen content would need to be significantly higher than it is today. Dinosaurs, some of them growing to sizes that seem impossible by today's biological standards, could have been supported by this hyper-oxygenated environment. The Bible itself might give us a clue in Genesis. It describes a firmament, or a canopy of water, above the sky. Some theories propose this was a literal protective layer of crystalline vapor surrounding the Earth. This canopy would have created a perfect, hyperbaric, greenhouse-like environment all over the globe. It would have also filtered out harmful cosmic radiation, which is a major factor in aging. This could explain why the Bible records people like Methuselah living for over 900 years. When the flood came, the Bible says the windows of heaven were opened. This canopy collapsed, unleashing a torrent of rain for 40 days and 40 nights. The Earth's protective shell was gone. The hyperbaric oxygen disappeared. And what happened to human lifespans? They crashed almost overnight, from over 900 years down to an average of 70 or 80. The flood didn't just kill the wicked. In a way, it killed our potential for near immortality. This leads us to secret number 6. The forbidden knowledge of the pre-flood world survived the flood. The story goes that Noah, his family, and the animals were the only survivors. But what if they brought more than just their belongings onto the ark? Some ancient traditions and texts suggest that Ham's wife may have secretly carried forbidden books and records from the pre-flood world onto the ark. It would explain so much. How did civilizations like ancient Egypt and Sumeria seem to pop up out of nowhere, immediately after the flood, with incredibly advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering? They were building pyramids and mapping the stars with a precision that baffles us to this day. It wasn't a slow, gradual development. It was an explosion of knowledge. The mysterious emerald tablets of Thoth, which supposedly contain the secrets of the universe, and the Book of Thoth itself, both claim to be repositories of pre-flood wisdom passed down by the gods, or as we know them, the Watchers. Think about it. Almost every major secret society on Earth today, from the Freemasons to others, traces their ancient wisdom and their secret knowledge directly back to a pre-flood source. This forbidden knowledge didn't die in the water. It just went underground. And now, for secret number 7, the most important and the most terrifying secret of all. It is happening again. This isn't just about ancient history. It's about prophecy. In Matthew 24, Jesus himself gives a chilling warning. He says, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man." What were the defining characteristics of the days of Noah? We just covered them. The return of the Nephilim, or their influence, rampant genetic corruption, widespread violence, and the pursuit of forbidden knowledge. Now look at our world today. We have CRISPR technology editing the genes of unborn babies. We have rapid advancements in artificial intelligence, with goals of merging the human mind with machines, what they call transhumanism. We see a rise in occultism and ancient pagan practices becoming mainstream. We even have powerful, elite bloodlines who openly and proudly claim to be the descendants of the ancient gods. The same sins, the same spiritual rebellion, the same scientific hubris that triggered the first judgment are all converging and reaching a critical mass once again. But this time, Jesus makes it clear there won't be another ark of wood to save humanity. The next judgment won't be by water. If you think this is all just a conspiracy theory or a wild story, I urge you to look closer. You're not paying attention to the signs. The same entities, the same fallen spiritual forces that corrupted the world once before, are back. And this time, a huge portion of the planet is not only welcoming it, but is actively begging for it, calling it progress. The real question is not whether a judgment is coming. According to the Bible, it's a certainty. The real question is, whose side will you be on when it does? If this video opened your eyes or even freaked you out a little, drop a like so more people can see it. If you're choosing to stand on the right side of history and eternity, comment "Jesus is Lord" down below. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because in my next video, we are going to expose the timeline. We're going to look at the signs that might reveal the exact time frame they are planning to finish what they started before the flood. You do not want to miss that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. If we're all still here,